More than 10,000 protesters in Hungary marching against a new labor law. It is the fourth protest of the week against this new law, which critics have labeled the slave law. And you'll understand why as John joins us to tell us what it covers. A controversial move, John, from this far-right authoritarian prime minister.
Indeed, Heather. This is the sorts of image that we may have to get used to out of Budapest, as we have a situation where there are tens of thousands, as you said, many of them crossing the bridges that span the Danube, a wide variety of organizations, some on the left, some on the right, university students, MPs as well, all of them taking to the streets to protest this so-called slave law. Now, this is a law, and this is an image that you may well remember from these sorts of protests. She's a member of the Momentum movement, as it's referred to as, taking to the streets to battle against a provision that would move the unpaid overtime provision from 250 hours a year to 400 hours a year. So the fact that it's unpaid anyway, and then the fact that it's being increased is significant in this. But this has been an 8-year process for this government run by Viktor Orban. He is the far-right leader, enshrining, for example, the definition of a man and a woman marriage as being the only definition of marriage in the Constitution, cutting the number of members of federal parliament by a considerable margin as well, and clamping down on things like media. And that's one of the reasons they're taking to the streets. At one point, storming the state media and demanding that people have a greater voice in it. But it is about freedom generally, and it is about these draconian laws. Another law that they're talking about introducing would effectively set up a separate court system for members of the government. In other words, they would have laws applied to them, but they might be a different kind of law than was applied to the average Hungarian. Heather?
You know, we've been preoccupied with so many big stories here at home and in North America. Some of the things happening, this significant shift in Hungary is maybe not getting the attention it should, John. And we have to start watching this a little bit more closely. Certainly there are some high-profile observers who have been warning about what's happening there.
Absolutely there. And in other parts of formerly Eastern Europe, of course, we're talking about Poland as well. But yes, this is something that has the attention of the EU. In fact, they have moved to take legal action against the country. Another man that has been the focus of this, billionaire, Hungarian national, George Soros. Now, renowned around the world for being a philanthropist, but many on the right around the world, including the U.S. President Donald Trump, have singled him out, rather, for attention. His university has been attacked in the country as well, and the government blames George Soros for fomenting much of the reactions that we're seeing in the streets. He has stood out, as he always has, for a number of left-wing views, despite his immense wealth, and pointed out that he is not behind this, that this is, in fact, the voice of the people we're seeing on the streets of Hungary. Heather?
Thank you very much,
Okay.
John Northcott.